Hey guys, Gabs Gaming here. I'm going to be showing this wicked Mortar deck which I've been having loads of fun with over the past 5 days. I'm really enjoying putting down the Mortar and keeping it alive, and the opponent's trying desperately to do something but unable to do so because it's a really good deck. There are various iterations I have. This was the first one which got me to 3450 with the furnace, which is really quite cool actually. You could build like a Sim City sort of style, getting down multiple furnaces and mortars. I really did enjoy that, and actually it's against some lava ham decks I was able to win with that. But guys, pro tip of today, when using two buildings, make sure you put down the right building in the right spots, not like that with the mortar behind the tower. It's not going to do anything. The second iteration had the Inferno Tower instead of the furnace to help deal with other lava hounds and other tank sort of decks, and then this one with the Boulder, the Tesla, and the Mega Minion really sort of reigned supreme. It was my personal choice of favourite, and it got me up to 3500. Another tip, guys, in this situation exactly, if I put down that mortar one tile in front, it would the RG would have been too close to it, and it would have fired a shot off onto the tower, which would allow me to win that game. Instead, I made that mistake multiple times, ended up drawing it. Very frustrating, but that's just a little tip. If you see the opponent dropping down a royal giant or giant on the bridge, you can get a shot off. The way to stop, if you're playing against mortar, put your royal giant or giant slightly further back. Anyway, this game here is against Doug. This is what brought me up to 3500. It's a really good game. It kind of shows you like how at the beginning I'm trying to work out how his deck works, and then get my sort of perfect sort of build up and running and tailor it accordingly. Because once you know what troops they have, you can say, okay, right, how am I going to protect my mortar? Okay, is he gonna drop the barbarians? Is he gonna drop barbarians? Well, how am I gonna deal with that? The way I'm gonna deal with that is with my ice spirits, my log. Is he gonna be? Am I facing against a giant deck? Okay, in that case, I need to swap lanes. I'm gonna show that in the second game I show. So far, I like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing quite big, high elixir cost troops. So my bowler here is going to be very good indeed. But anyway, I know my mortar is coming up in just a second, so I drop down my Tesla, put the fire spirits in the back, and put the mortar at the front. You actually want to put your mortar one tile back. There's a slight misclick on my behalf. I need to get myself an iPad, not an iPhone, on that behalf. But just make sure when placing your mortar that you don't place it behind a rock. So if you have a look on the left hand side, you can actually place it behind a rock, and if you do that, it will be out of range of the tower. So I see he's also got the musketeer, so I really got to make sure that I place that mortar one tile back, which will then allow me to drop down my ice spirit in front with the archers to stop that musketeer getting any damage off. Anyway, so I start with the back, put down the bowler. In this situation, as playing against a small deck, the guy should be definitely pushing down my right hand side. I'd probably kind of ignore it, maybe put down my Mega Minion to deal with it. From my point of view, I just want to force the opponent's attention down his left lane, especially when I've got a bowler up. I mean, that's able to go through the whole of it's able to take out just about everything in conjunction with that mortar. That was very cool. Barbarians, Ice Wizard, Witch. It's very expensive, and I was able to deal with that with just the bowler and the mortar. Very cool. Anyway, he tries to drop down a troop to take care of the mortar, but I was able to stop that with the archers to take the hit. Here again, the witch comes in, and I successfully premeditate and put down the Mega Minion, and this is just how it's going to end. He's unable to. I'm 5 elixir and 7 elixir up, and he's unable to get close to my mortar. The log being the only way that he's able to get any damage onto it. Right now, I'm well ahead on elixir, and he just doesn't really have an answer to this, having to drop stuff on the bridge, which is just suiting me with the log and my ice spirits. It's just going one way, and all this time my mortar's getting more and more damage off, and the opponent's I must be getting a little bit frustrated. So that was the game that got me out of 3500. Very confident game right there. And it's really enjoyable. It's I suppose it's a sense of control. You have control over that game, especially in that situation. Now the issue being, if you come up against giant users, they will drop it on the bridge, which is very tricky to deal with. And the way that you deal with it is you don't drop your mortar on the bridge. You wait until they push. You try and kill a giant ASAP, and then you put down a mortar. The other way is just to quickly cycle around and actually attack the other side. I know that's even the case when the other side tower is low. You just put it in the other side lane. Force them to deal with it. If the giant, in my eyes, the giant's the only thing which can really get close to it. I will be able to use other troops to stop them getting to the mortar, but the giant, it's always going to get the mortar down, and then they can push behind with supporting troops. So here we go. I'm always like unsure about how to deal with this. Do I use my Tesla tower to draw the giant in, but then the bowler won't hit the witch behind? He drops the graveyard, which is very frightening, and I don't have my archers in hand, which is enough to deal with it, so I end up dropping the Tesla and the archers, just to cycle around to the archers and also help out with that giant. In retrospect, I probably should have put that a little bit further forward, allowing the giant to attack it, but it was alright. He's now shown his hand. I know what deck I'm placed against. I know I should be saving my archers for that exact moment. I don't for the next push, which is a little bit silly on my behalf. As you can see, I'm able to get some pretty decent damage off with that mortar, and he has to use his zaps because he doesn't want to take that extra. It would have probably been 1 or 2 hits on that tower if he hadn't used it. So here we go again. I'm building up elixir. I'm just 1 elixir up right now, maybe 2. I'm just going to have to drop the bowler in the bottom right. Probably not the best. I probably should have just built SimCity and put down the Tesla tower and getting ready for his big push. He's waiting for me to drop down the mortar where he will then drop down the giant. And upon seeing him drop down the giant there, I immediately put it in the other lane to try and force some troops to go on that side, which he doesn't do. And stillily, I don't think that's a word, but I used my archers too early. I should have saved them. If I saved them, I would have been able to deal with this graveyard push much more easily. Instead, I took quite a lot of damage there, which is not what you want to do at all, guys. As soon as you lose that first tower, you can't push that tower ever again. So it's not just very important, it's imperative that you don't lose a tower. The reason why I say that is once you lose that tower, they can then place barbarians or whatever they want on top of your mortar. So that's just not going to happen. This time I was actually ready. I had my archers at the ready with the bowler, able to get the Tesla just in front of that giant there, cutting it a little bit fine. But it's all okay, I know I've got this, especially with this push. I've now cycled back round to the bowler, so I'm going to push on the right hand side of 2 bowlers. I know he doesn't have anything to deal with that. Yes, he's got Mega Miner, but he's not going to be able to deal with the 2 bowlers, especially with my supporting troops. On the left, I then dropped down another mortar, just splitting, trying to get him to choose which side to go on. And it's going to be GG from here. Maybe a little bit, look at that Ice Bear, able to duck underneath that log to get that hero 3s on that, in front of the tower. I don't think it would have made a difference either way. As you can see on his left-hand side, it's just about to go down as well. But pretty cool. I really enjoyed playing that deck, and I couldn't recommend it anymore. I'm sure there are some there are better decks out there right now, but it's fun to mix things up. If you don't play siege decks, give it a go. It's always nice. I've had some fun with it in challenges, although that seems to be dominated by Lava Hound decks, which this one doesn't do too well in. When I came up against those decks, if they tried to deal with my siege, then I have a chance to win or draw. But if they just say, hey, yeah, you could do that, I'm just going to build up this massive push on the right hand side, you got to come to me, you got to defend this push. If they do that, it's probably going to be their game. But anyway, guys, I'm really looking forward to my next video, which is going to be on Elite Barbarians with Rage Spell and Lumberjack. It's so cool. Enraged Elite Barbarians, just getting them to the tower. They do so much damage under the Rage Spell. So that's coming up next. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Galbers out.